So I'm out here today, one of the nicest days we've had of 2026 so far here in Chicago. It's in the mid 50s, believe it or not, in February. That being said, I do want to share with you a story about how I ended up here. Not necessarily with this camera. This is the S1RII. I did a video last year on why I returned it and I repurchased it, and maybe I'll share a video why I repurchased it, but that's not the topic for today's video. When I talk about how I got here, what I mean by that is how I got here so far deep into the Lumix camera system. I have the S1RII here. I'm actually recording on the S1II, and I've got the new 24-60 2.8 from Lumix here. I'm recording on the Sigma 28-70, which has been my bread and butter go-to, just great multi-purpose content creator lens. So you can do a little bit of everything for me. But getting back to the topic at hand is how did I end up here? There's so many options in the marketplace. Of course, there's other brands that are well more, just bigger brands by sales and marketing spend and all that, Sony, Canon and such. But when it comes to Lumix, how did I get here? Well, I want to share with you that. Let me show you how I ended up here. Where it all began for me was this camera right here. This is the Lumix G7, the original OG G7 that came out in, I believe, 2015. This was the very first camera that I purchased with my own money to get me started in the content creating space. And I still have it, clearly. It's dusty, it's crusty, you know, the screen just stiff, nothing's broken or scratched or anything like that. The sensor still looks good. But, you know, the shutter button's real sticky. The buttons are just like, look at pushing that, cracking it. I mean, it's snap, crackling, and popping on me. It's 11 years old, right? 2015 and 2026, 11-year-old camera. But this is what got me started down the Lumix path. And I distinctly remember back in 2015 when it came out, it was marketed as the first 4K camera. And for me, I didn't know all of that stuff. I didn't know what I know today in terms of, you know, specs and all that stuff. I just knew that at the time, the price point was okay. It said 4K, and I thought 4K, that's the future. So let me go ahead and buy it. And I actually have the original lens that it comes with, the starter lens, which I can't remember what the range of that is. I have it back at home, but it served me well for a lot of years. Made a lot of early day content, which kind of want to hide that stuff. But this is what started it for me. From this camera, because I enjoyed it so much and I saw how functional it was, it worked well for me. When it came time to upgrade, I went from the G7 to the GH5. The GH5 was, again, another camera from Lumix that just incredible bang for the buck for me, for the spend. It was my live stream camera because I was an early adopter of live streaming before it became popular, before Twitch was what it is now. And this is the early days when it was pure gaming. And live streaming, recording stuff back in that time period. I was working in the professional radio industry, so interviews with artists. Some of my earliest interviews were on YouTube with some of the biggest artists, were recorded off that camera. And from the GH5, I went to the GH5S. I added a second one because I liked it so much. And then eventually to the GH6. And then from the GH6 is when I got into the full frames. That was my first venture into full frames. At that point, I knew kind of what full frame was, the benefits of a full frame. So the S5II was my first foray into full frame, and absolutely love those cameras. Still do to this day. I traded those in to upgrade to these guys, but I think when I have a chance, I'm gonna get one. If not, if anything, I'll get the S5IIX as a keepsake, just because I have so many fond memories of it. So why wouldn't I just keep it in the stash? But I had up to, at one point, 4 S5IIs and 2Xs, combination of those. And now today, here I am with the S1R2 and the S5 and the S1II. All these names are getting me confused here. And I absolutely love these two. I really do not feel like I will need another camera for what I do other than these. To me, are the pinnacle of what I'll get for price to performance. I just don't know that Lumix can make another camera that I would need to get because it would perform better or give me something better than what these offer. And that's for my personal use case. I'm still interested to see what they do come out with, though, of course, with S1H, the H series, whatever it's going to be, the 2, or whatever else. Anyway, that's how I got here with this one camera. Now, I didn't make this video just to yap about how I got here, necessarily just about the G7, the original G7, but I actually wanted to take this out today. I'm here on the trail, people walking around me, and I want to put it to use. How does the original G7 hold up in 2026? An 11-year-old camera. Now, it's a 16 megapixel camera, which is a drop from what I've been used to in the more recent years, the 24 megapixel cameras, and now with the higher resolution, was it 44, the S1RII, which is incredible for me. But how does the 16 megapixel hold up? Now, I suspect that it should be okay, at least for putting these pictures on social media. But you know, just the colors, how does it hold up in terms of focusing and all of that? That's what I'm gonna find out in today's video and share it with you, just because, you know. So what I'm gonna be shooting with today, I don't have the kit lens that it came with, it's at home, but what I do have on it, to make this even more challenging, some might argue, is I have the Lumix 20mm lens on this, little pancake lens. And I actually love this little Micro Four Thirds lens. I've had it for some time, and I've used it on my G9 II. I forgot to mention I do have a G9 II. Forgot about that. Love that camera too, by the way. But this 20mm, which is a 40mm roughly, I believe, full frame equivalent, it's small, it's lightweight. This setup right here is super lightweight compared to my S1R II here with the 24 to 60 lens on it. It's a bit beefier, way more beefier, but super lightweight, small. But this 20mm lens has been known for being noisy. For one, it's super noisy, and it can hunt a lot. It can take a second for it to figure out and get on to whatever you're trying to get onto and get that focus to snap a picture. So I'm really gonna test this and push it, what I believe is gonna be to its limits in terms of how well does it, you know, capture shots, that sensor, and the lens, you know, how fast it can get onto that subject and focus on it so I can snap that pic. And so we're gonna take a walk down the trail here. I'm gonna throw on the DJI Osmo Action 6 to get that POV, and we'll see how it does, and we'll come back and talk about the results. Oh, look at this over here. Nice doggy. It is a pretty hectic day out on this trail that we're on. That's for sure. But considering this is the first nice day of the year, temperatures are 6:55. Look at this, we'll take one right here. What? Oh yeah, look at that dog. Is he walking on the, I kind of wish I had a zoom lens at this point, but he's walking on the thing. I'll snap a photo of that. See how much we can crop in on that. That's pretty crazy. Tell you what, you can hear the shutter putting in work on this thing. Snap a pic of them. I have no clue how that zoom is gonna hold up, or not the zoom, but the focus is gonna hold up with the with this lens. How accurate it's gonna be. It's a nice little street view right here, of the street, the community we're in. And shooting in, I got f-stop is 5, shutter speed's 500, and ISO's on auto. Looks like I got a cool little graffiti thing over here. Snap a photo of the dogs, but I don't even know how that came out. Actually, not bad. Considering I'm just whipping this camera around and snapping shots, catching focus pretty decent. think maybe because of the maybe the aperture we're at, or there's decent amount of sunlight out here, it's catching on to things pretty quick. Especially because I think this was a DFD autofocus back in the day. You got all that graffiti over there. That's really cool. That's really cool. Maybe I get a shot over here somewhere. Let me step over here for a second. See if I can catch an angle through here somewhere. Maybe something like this. There we go. It's a pretty cool little shot right here, I think. Kind of the trees starting to overhang the pathway and stuff. The lady on the bench here. I'm not quite used to not having a zoom lens like my 28 to 70 to kind of zoom in, so shooting with a prime definitely is a different kind of experience. I'm not all the way comfortable with getting close to people, so hence the shots from far away here. Kind of like this one right here. Get a nice shot. There we go. The man on the bench contemplating life, or maybe he's making his parlays on DraftKings. You just never know. I like this one too. Young lady right here sitting down. If I had the zoom lens, I'd zoom in. Again, she contemplating life, waiting on an important phone call. Actually, I like this shot right here. I actually like that a lot. That was a cool shot, I think. Oh, I see something interesting coming up over here. Little artwork on the side over here. I'm gonna try to get a shot here. I'm gonna get off the path so I don't block people. All right, let's take a look at this. This lens isn't wide enough to capture all of it, but still pretty cool. Lots and lots of dogs. Maybe I should start taking pictures of dogs. Never really kind of got into it, but there's just so many of them here. Look at these two right here. I wonder, do they know each other? Are they two strangers? Are they mad at each other with the separation? Makes you wonder. Oh, that's cute. They're definitely together. Okay, a little bit of a walk. We got everything done. I sat back, went back to the car, looked on the iPad, pulled this all together, took a look at the pictures, and what can I say? I am pleasantly surprised at the image that I captured with the original G7 here. I'm even more impressed at how well the lens snapped onto focus and might have missed 3 shots. Everything else was on point and got the shot the first time. Even the picture of the look, I believe to be the young girl and the grandmother rollerblading. I just whipped that and snapped it on the fly. I literally just threw over and snapped it. Didn't even attempt to focus, and it caught it without any issues. I'm really, really surprised. And I should mention that everything I shot was straight out of camera, JPEGs. I didn't do any editing. I just really want to see purely what it looks like. Straight out of camera. Didn't crop anything. You're just getting the essentially just the base image for what it is out of this G7. Now, I did shoot these with RAW. Sorry for the wind here. I do have the copies of the RAW, which might be interesting. I might do on my own time to just see how much I can push those to get some more out of those images if I want to spend some time, doing that. But just purely out of the camera with the JPEGs, I'm impressed. It holds up for a 11-year-old camera. I'm just really shocked. And I guess when I think about it, if that is true for this camera that came out in 2015, then I suspect, and honestly I do know, that something like this S1RII is going to last me well over a decade and still give me the performance, the pictures, the quality that I'm going to need to deliver stuff for stuff that I take around from, you know, documenting family life, documenting things that I'm just out here doing. That's kind of the great thing about Lumix, is it's never failed me in that way. It's always been reliable, functional, and most importantly here, exceptional value. And I think that's where and why I'll continue to stick to their ecosystem, because I know what I'm getting, and I know that they're going to always do their best to pack as much stuff into these cameras as possible, listening to our feedback and trying to include it where they can and deliver on something that just is a great tool. So let me know what you guys think about the pictures from the original G7 down below. For those of you that still have one as well, have you shot it recently? It might be worth taking out just for old time's sake and reconnecting with it. I had a good time with it today on today's walk, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this little story about how I got into the Lumix ecosystem. Appreciate you guys for watching. Take care.